Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Into the Vault, the show where we reach back into the Disney vault, pull out a movie, and find out if it was a hidden treasure or if it was locked away for our own good. I'm your host, Garrison MacCraw, and oh my goodness, hold on, I should have thought of an intro beforehand. No, this is great. I'm gonna keep going. Nate, just say you're here.
I'm here.
Nate Elliot, wow.
Oh, hi.
Audience at home, just imagine I did a really funny intro that ties back into the movie we're watching.
Oh.
Just insert your own.
If I knew anything about the movie, I would have. My first inclination was like,
that's great.
It's a duck.
Here, I'm going to take that sound and I'm going to insert it earlier in.
Yeah.
And it won't make any sense to the audience until this moment.
What? and a laugh track.
No laugh track.
And they'll be like, oh my goodness, whatever they're doing.
I'm going to do, the
It's
duck
gotta
sound
look hilarious.
and a laugh track. Yeah, it'll be a solid minute before it makes any sense. Nate Elliot, thank you so much for joining me. Hey, did you know we're going to watch a movie?
I thought we might.
Yeah, we're actually, we're going to take it back a little bit. A little old school.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about these, have you heard of Marvel Comics?
Marbles?
Yeah. The little round things.
Like, yeah, shoot them in the
at other
street.
marbles.
Yeah.
And then you can win them?
Yeah, I've got like at least 4 marbles, man. I got one that's like this. You guys can't see it, but it looks like.
Audience at home, insert your own mental image.
Yeah, it is
of a cool marble.
Laugh track, play the laugh track. It's so funny. Oh, I love marbles.
So Marvel.
They've
been having a bit
of Marvel.
Yeah.
Silly me. I thought he said marble.
I know you
My
always
favorite
confuse.
type of cake. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you always confuse your V's and your B's.
Yeah, that's just a New York thing.
Yeah.
You guys probably won't understand it, but
Yeah. You don't live in one of the boroughs of New York.
Yeah. He's good, that Garrison guy.
So they've been having a bit of a renaissance recently. Marvel.
Marvel.
V.
Marvel.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, man, nobody plays with marbles these days. I was just saying to my friends.
Except in the streets of New York.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go back to one of their first big movies. Maybe even their first theatrical movie. And I was like, what is that? It's got to be something cool, like maybe a Spider-Man or a Hulk.
Oh, yes, I've heard of Spider-Man. The
And-
Hulk.
And so I asked you to come aboard because I know you're a big Marvel, Spider-Man guy. So I was like, it's got to be a cool Marvel thing, like their first foyer into the big screen.
Yes.
So I hope you're ready for this. It's
Oh boy, what is it?
It's called Howard the Duck.
What? Laugh track. Howard the Duck?
That's right.
You mean to tell me they made a movie about Howard the Duck?
Before any of these other ones.
You mean to tell me this was the first Avengers movie?
That's right. It's in the MCU, probably.
In some
waiting.
sort of way.
I'm waiting for a multiverse movie where it opens up and it's this.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah,
what happens this week's Loki.
Yeah, just this Howard the Duck.
Oh, he's so gonna show up. I just thought about that.
I would love for that to
Howard
happen.
the Duck. He's got to show up.
No, this movie came out in 1986.
Whoa!
And
it was like
it's not a Disney
10.
movie. Yeah, you are a very
so
old man.
Old.
I don't mean to imply that anyone born in 1976 is old.
I'm
outright
you're distinguished now, man.
I'm outright saying it. I'm not implying it.
Yeah, no, you're old.
Yeah, you're very old. To us, us children.
Really,
No,
it came out in '86. I thought it was in the '90s.
no.
Shows how little I know about this movie.
Yeah, this is actually, it's not a Disney movie technically, but it also is technically. It's a Lucasfilm movie, but Lucasfilm now has parents. The little
Was it
Disney-
Touchstone?
No, just Lucasfilm. Yeah. It was created by Lucasfilm and it was distributed by Universal, but distribution does not imply creation. So it's a Disney movie.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, do you know anything about this.
So here's what I know.
Yeah.
I only know what I've seen on the back of like the VHS tape that I've seen at like Blockbuster, and not recently, obviously.
Okay.
But
Your
I've
daily
seen-
trips to Blockbuster, we're all aware.
Yeah, man, we go there every Friday night.
Play marbles.
Yeah, we go out back, we play marbles. And I know that there's like, he's like on like he's in a plane, and there's a female presence, and she's there, and he's like flying the plane. He's got like a bomber jacket on, and he's like a duck.
I hope there's nothing like what you just described, so when we come back, we can be like, where did that come
Yeah,
from?
why did they put that there? But
Well,
that's literally it. I know that it was a Lucasfilm
Yeah.
kind of Disney, but not Disney movie.
Are you sure you're not thinking of Red Tails, the other Lucasfilm airplane?
Oh my gosh, I love Red Tails. Everyone saw Red Tails, right?
Yeah. Yeah, right after I watched Strange Magic. And Willow.
We all love these movies.
These are all the best Lucasfilm.
Yeah, we're not joking at all.
I think they should make other movies other than those someday.
Yeah, that'd be cool, right?
Yeah. Nah, never mind. We don't have to.
Just Star Wars.
What? Oh, they also did that.
Yeah. Wait,
Laugh
that was
track.
them?
I'm
Yeah.
putting that. Well, I've given you the poster for the movie.
Oh, yes.
So
Here.
this is perhaps the front of the VHS.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. This is an
Switching it
actual
up.
vintage paper poster.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's double-sided? This is from the theater in 1986?
Yeah, I stole it from a Blockbuster.
Oh my goodness.
I say stole. I won it in a game of marbles.
Oh, wow. Wow, look at this.
All right, so what do we have going on?
Well, a better question is, what don't we have going on?
A lack of airplanes.
So, yeah, man, if this doesn't look good for airplane lovers such as ourselves, Okay, so it looks like who I assume to be Howard the Duck himself, sitting in a giant
Looks like the thinking chair from Blue's Clues.
I was gonna say, I'm like, isn't that the chair from Blue's Clues?
Yeah.
In space? Question mark? Or like out in a field where you can just see like space, like stars and crap. And then he's smoking a cigar because, reading, what's this? Not Rolling Stone magazine, Rolling Egg magazine.
Because on Duck Planet, they don't have rocks.
I guess it's just eggs. Like the planet
The
itself isn't
geometric-
even a rock. It's just a giant egg.
The only things you can roll are eggs. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, they don't even have marbles, I bet. So then the
Hey, you want to go
tagline
behind the Blockbuster and play eggs? It's where you shoot eggs at other eggs.
with a bunch of ducks. Okay, and then it says, trapped in a world he never made. More adventure than humanly possible. And that's like the vaguest thing I've ever heard. I'm not even like intrigued, like, oh, what does that mean? I'm just like,
Okay, who
All right.
cares?
well, okay then.
Nate-
It sounds like they got someone who had nothing to do with the movie, and they gave him the poster, and they said, put words on this besides Howard the Duck. And he said, okay. And that's it.
That's all we got. So based purely off this poster and your Marvel or Marvel knowledge of Howard the Duck, give me either what you want this movie to be about or what you think it's going to be about or something along those lines.
So I think this is like what I hope it to be.
Yeah.
I hope it's like sort of like what they did with like Treasure Planet, where it was like, we took this classic story like Treasure Island, but we put it in space and we made little twists and turns here and there. It's sort of like its own thing, but it is inspired by this other thing. So I think this is like a space ugly duckling sort of situation. And it'll be like, oh my goodness, that duck is so ugly. And he can walk on like human style legs. I don't know. Scientific for his legs. And he can talk and smoke and stuff, and that's so weird.
And he's going to be a goose at the end?
No,
Or
he'll be
swan?
like an alien.
Oh,
and he'll be like, oh, he's not a swan.
So you think he comes
he's
from
an alien.
You think he comes from like Earth as we know it starting out?
I think it's sort of a Superman sort of situation where he crash landed in Kansas, wherever, in a space egg capsule. There's no other way that this movie could go. It has to be a Superman, ugly duckling, space parallel movie.
Because I was going to say, like, if this is based off a comic book, I'm wondering what kind of comic-y elements Howard the Duck brought. Because I'm not super familiar with the character.
I just know that he's, like, the original meme. Like,
yeah,
he was in the comics as, like, over here. And he almost pulled a Deadpool, but, like, didn't make it. You know? But, like, he's still there. He seems like the Marvel equivalent of, like, Batmite.
Yeah.
Who I also don't know a whole lot about, but that's another podcast.
I watched Batman
day.
the Brave and the Bold, the cartoon, with Batmite in it.
Wasn't he?
Yeah. Paul Rubens. Good actor.
Yeah. Nice.
But enough about that. I think we should watch this movie.
I think we need to. I have to know.
And I'm going to separate this with another laugh track. And we are back. We have just finished Howard the Duck. And Nate, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, you started so cheery, and we're back. I'm like, hi guys. Why so glum, chum? I just watched Howard the Duck,
and it ruined my life.
You just had 1 year of your life sucked away.
How do you feel? Look. I'm going to save the official review for the segment of the show where we give our official review, but that might have been the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, not to spoil the review part of the podcast.
But stay tuned for what rating we give it. All right, we should just get into it a little bit. So the film is about this character, Howard the Duck, who is a duck man, and it's done through like puppetry or an animatronic head on a very small man.
I'm sure the behind the scenes of this movie, like I'm sure it's fascinating. It is the special effects and the like the puppetry and on all of that is definitely like a
fine.
Yeah, it's very good quality, it had come a long way from, I guess the last thing would have been, like, Return of the Jedi, I think was the last Lucasfilm thing before this. Mm-hmm. There you go. That's a nice thing I can say about it. Like, oh, man, it's definitely quite the feat, this movie, from, like, a special effects. It's weird that it took this movie to bring that out, but hey, good for them. But anyway, yes.
Yeah, so
it's a puppet duck man.
Puppet duck man living in a duck world where everything, like we said earlier, it's all like eggs and duck references.
Oh, and I was right. It is a duck. It is an egg planet. It is shaped like an egg. But like everything, it's the duck version of like everything.
He has like movie posters, so he has like, instead of a poster of Mae West, it's Mae Nest. Nests, a thing a duck is known for. Yes. A duck nest.
Like, and what was it? He had a poster of Breeders of the Lost Ark.
Lost Stork.
Stork, yeah. But like, it's like everything. Didn't he feed? He had a fish tank.
Yeah.
He feeds the fish tank, but I don't remember seeing fish in there. Were they fish?
They were ducks. No, it was fish.
Because that's the thing. Like, there's references throughout that he makes, and I'm like, do you even have
other animals,
other things there? Because we only see maybe 8 other duck people.
We see a lot of them.
We see a lot of them.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, my show is a family-friendly show, and this movie is PG.
Cannot recommend that families watch this.
It's going to be very difficult to talk about this movie without bringing in more adult themes than I usually bring in. So keep that in mind while listening. I am so sorry.
So we are officially raising the rating from TVY to TV-14.
Yeah, just a little tiny bit.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't understand why this culture is so obsessed with the fact that they're ducks. Like, we don't, like, name movies like John Human Person Man.
Yeah.
Like, why is it all like duck this, duck that? But out of nowhere, Howard is flung from this reality to Earth. And it's kind of unexplained why at first.
But it's intense.
It's intense. He's flying through buildings and through walls, and he goes through one wall, and there's another duck female taking a bath.
Yeah.
And she does not have a top on.
Well, I mean, do you wear a shirt in the bathtub?
I mean, I do, but that's just because I'm
you're a duck
self-conscious.
person?
No, if I was a duck person, no.
She did what any one of us would do
Yeah.
if we were in that weird duck position taking a bath.
And I'll put it this way. I was unaware that ducks were mammals
Yeah.
and need to produce milk.
Yes.
I was unaware of that fact.
There were. This was a very. They did not hold back. They pulled out all the stops on.
At least
on the
two
details.
stops.
Yes. Oh my god. This is a very, very educational movie. If you just got back from taking your kids to like the science center or something, and they want to learn about duck person anatomy or whatever.
And I know you used to be a Jehovah's Witness, so I know you're not used to seeing stuff like this.
I said, "What's that, Garrison?" Or "What are those?" Oh, that's amazing.
It's okay. I was homeschooled, so I was like, I was going to ask you.
Do you what? You ever
A
see
Jehovah's Witness,
you ever
next
see a
Jehovah's
duck like
Witness, and a
that?
homeschooler trying to figure out
Yup.
the ways of the world.
When I got to that age, my dad sat me down. He said, "Son, I'm gonna show you a thing or two." He just sat me down and he ran out of the house, and I could never understand why. But not 5 minutes into this movie, I understood.
So Howard ends up in our world in Cleveland. There's a concert going on with this band, and it's a very seedy part of Cleveland. I've never been to Cleveland. Maybe it's all seedy, maybe none of it is. I don't know.
I don't know. Did they go through like a depression in like the 80s or something? Where
The
like it
Great
was
Cleveland Depression? Yeah.
Yeah. But this is like when he first landed. He does land out of space in a dumpster behind this club where this band, which I guess they're like an up and coming, like
Yeah.
like it was like open mic night at this like weird bar, but it looked like they were all wearing like, it felt very Blade Runner-y, and I made a Blade Runner reference because they were like, this wasn't like just regular 80s. This was like that like dark part of the 80s. Where I was like, is this space attire they're wearing? But it was definitely 1986. Later on, it became a little more like what I'm used to when I watch an 80s movie. But that was intense. I've never been to Cleveland or Cleveland in the 80s, but I guess maybe that's what it was.
Yeah. I mean, if you wait like 6 years, you can go to Cleveland in the 80s again.
Yeah.
That'd be great. So there's a woman walking through. She's just finished her concert, and these two men like start to accost her, and Howard the Duck interferes and uses his quack foo.
He said, like, "Back off, guys. I'm a master of quack foo." And
just takes him out.
it was a very serious moment, I think.
Sure.
Maybe. Was it a joke? They
Yeah.
took it very seriously.
This woman seems very enamored with Howard and wants to help him out.
I mean, naturally.
I mean, who wouldn't be?
It started raining, and she like, "Oh man, he's that duck guy who saved me is all alone in the rain."
I better help him. So she takes this tiny duck man to her apartment, and they're like chatting, and he's like trying to figure out where he's from, and he's like, "Oh, I'm from whatever duck planet. Where am I? And she's like, oh, you're on Earth or Cleveland and Earth. And he's like, ah, cool.
He's like, what's a Cleveland?
Good jokes. Good jokes all around.
He said Cleveland at least 3 times.
Howard falls asleep. It's been a long day. And she starts digging through his wallet. And there was another, she found, duck money and then, Blooming Duck's credit card.
He had a Mallard card instead of a MasterCard. A bunch of pictures of him at the beach with,
duck ladies.
And there
was something else in his wallet, but a homeschooler and an ex-Jehovah's Witness do not understand what they are.
I don't know. It's some sort of weird, balloon thing, man. I don't know. You ever see one of these? Who keeps a balloon in their wallet? Huh. Weird.
You never know when a party's gonna break out, you know?
Yeah,
you have to just make a draft.
There's one of those.
Yeah.
One of those good times. Duck stuff.
Yeah, duck stuff. Oh, man. So the next morning. And by the way, this girl, she's the mom from Back to the Future. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. She's got that quirky, but innocent, but weird type of vibe going on.
And then, you know what? I should watch Back to the Future again because I remember her acting being very good in Back to the Future. And it was not very good in this.
Yeah, no. This movie brought out the worst in
everyone.
Quite a few, maybe not, not A or even B-list people, but some decent people who have been in very good things.
She takes him to see her scientist friend at a museum.
Who I thought was her boyfriend at first.
Yeah, it's not.
But then it becomes very clear that they are not an item at all.
In fact, they kind of hate each other.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it's never. I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You don't have to think about it.
She has a scientist dude friend played by whatever his name is.
Yeah, some guy. He's in Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
Watch the movie.
And he wasn't terrible in that. But, oh God, he was terrible in
He was really bad in this. The scene's kind of pointless. Basically, he explains, so you're from a reality where ducks are the main, instead of primates, it was ducks and they evolved. And he's like, yeah, obviously, I'm a duck man.
He's like, yeah, we learned all this in school, man. This is the smartest guy on your Earth or whatever. This is kid duck stuff.
So luckily, they have this whole scene just to explain to the audience what the characters already know, which is great.
It drags.
It drags for forever. There's another band scene and another fight where more quack foo. And then we get back to the apartment again. Mm-hmm. And then
that's when the tension, saxophone starts playing.
Yeah. It just becomes very, very strange and very uncomfortable very quickly because she is expressing a lot of interest and is very comfortable wearing very little around this duck.
She's her intentions were maybe a little muddled, but overall it was very
I didn't like sitting through it.
Sexy. For lack of a better term of whatever was happening in that scene. She's putting the moves on the duck.
Yeah,
she's putting.
It's good.
Yeah.
And later they both are like, "Hey, we're just kidding."
Yeah.
But the scene went on for a very long time.
An extremely long time.
There's other stuff where Howard gets a job. At a
fluff. Let's get to the meat of it.
Yeah. The movie goes on for all this time. There's this thing with Howard getting a job and it not working out. Also, very strangely, sexually charged, that scene.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was
he goes, it's like a
sauna, but everyone's kissing.
It's like Mrs. Doubtfire. When he's trying to get a job and he tries all these different things or whatever, nothing works. But not funny or good in a terrible movie. And also he's not working at this TV studio, this TV network, whatever. The very first job that this what is she?
What?
The chick he goes to.
Oh,
He's like, I want a job.
Yeah,
She's like, oh, I'll give you a job. You give me sass. I think I'll give you the job the best job that you could want or whatever. And it's at this like sexy spa.
it's very strange. I don't like it.
No.
Because
he's a duck. She's like, oh man, I got a call that the guy at this sauna spa thing needs like a water expert. So I think you'd fit the bill. None of us laughed.
A group of scientists from Shawshank Scientist, like he like asks these other scientists to like come over for Howard, and one of them's like, hey, we got a feather sample from you, and it matches a feather that we found in our lab. So anyway, we were doing a giant space laser, and we think when we shot the space laser, it opened a rift between our realities, and it sucked you in here. And so, just so you know, in case that's of any interest to you, they go to the lab to try to get sent back, but the machine's going haywire. Police show up.
Yeah, like it's going all wrong at this lab.
Yeah, they start interrogating Howard for it, and Howard escapes with the help of Marty McFly's mom, who pulls a gun on a police officer.
Yeah.
Like, just points it right at him, which... it's very weird. It's so weird. It's really weird.
It got really intense really quick. Like,
yeah. I'm like,
they were like, hold this duck here. Like, that's weird. And he's like, no, I gotta get out of here. She's like, don't worry, I'll help you. He, like, smacks the cop on the back of the head. And he's like, oh my goodness, I don't even know what her name is. Stacy?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. He says, hey, Back to the Future, Mom.
It's Beverly.
Beverly. There we go. He said, Beverly, quick. And she's like, oh, I know exactly what to do. And she grabs the cop's gun. Yeah. And then she's like, you stay right there. I don't even know, because then it cuts away. But, like, the cop makes it out. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Not pushing any agendas today.
Except anti-duck agendas.
Yeah, man. So then the cop comes in, and he like tells his chief, and he's like, "Hey, man, the duck got away."
And they're like, "Well, he got a gun, so he's armed and dangerous. Shoot to kill."
Oh yes, like all of this happens in like 30 seconds.
We assumed at this point, because we had been sitting here for what felt like at least 3 months.
2 hours.
Yeah. And we're like, okay, this is like the finale. They're in the building. The police are chasing. So I like pause it because I'm like, I have to use the restroom. Yeah. It's 55 minutes in. There's still an hour left. Like, what could possibly happen? What more?
Like, it seemed pretty cut and dry. I was like, okay. And then they go to the lab at the end, because that's how movies end. And then the cops are involved. And then maybe there's a little something here at the end. I thought maybe at most there'd be 15 minutes left.
So one of the scientists is the principal from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, yeah.
Who's a bad person in real life. I want to make that very clear.
We do not support him.
We don't support him. Just we watch his movies.
Yeah, he's been in some great stuff.
Yeah.
But then he did Howard the Duck, and it's gone way downhill ever since.
Mm-hmm. So he, in this last scene with like the space laser like kind of malfunctioning, a demon from another dimension infests his body and is starting to emerge and has completely taken over. So as they're escaping, this transformation is happening.
It's very
Men in Black.
In Men in Black. Like he's like, it's like proto Edgar. Like he's walking around. It's funny because he almost puts on like a Beetlejuice voice.
Yeah.
And he was in Beetlejuice.
He's in Beetlejuice. Yeah.
But it's like, imagine that, like Edgar from Men in Black, but with Beetlejuice's voice.
But it's also higher pitched.
Yeah, it's a little more like Green Goblin, like from like the 60s. Like it's like a gremlin sort of a sound. It's terrible. I hate it.
And so here's the thing. We still have an hour left of the movie, But we could explain the rest of the movie in like 2 minutes because the next bits are just extremely drawn out scenes. It's a whole scene in a diner that takes 30 minutes.
It's like real time.
Yeah.
The scene in the diner.
Where basically this guy's powers start emerging and the people in the diner are trying to kill Howard because he's a walking around duck man, and then this guy's shooting lightning.
We can't have that.
There's more chases and escapes. Howard and one of the scientists are on like a little plane.
Oh yeah,
the other one.
I thought that they were on like a plane before, and I thought she was there in the plane, but there was no plane. She wasn't there. It's like a weird flying contraption thing, and he's there with the Shawshank guy.
Yeah.
Who is
meanwhile, Beverly and
Rooney from
Rooney,
Ferris Bueller,
Demon Rooney
are
are off on a truck where he's trying to garner power at nuclear power plants to get more powerful.
He like feeds off of electricity. He like uses his like alien tongue to like
the scenes
suck up
go on
electricity
for
from the cigarette
just
lighter.
a million years, and there's more police chasing. And
this is was this the like director's cut of like Howard the Duck? Because oh my goodness, it's like ooh, and now with 45 minutes of extra footage.
Hashtag release the Hyuk cut.
Yeah,
but that's the director's last name.
Yeah, his Hyuk.
Huyck. Hyuk.
Hyuk, I believe.
Release the Hyuk cut. It all finishes back at the lab, so we spend an hour getting back to the same place. Amazing. The demon,
worst U-turn ever.
Yeah. The demon is going to try to use the space laser to open another rift to have more demons come in and put the demon inside Beverly's body.
Yeah, because they need to. He says like, I can't be here unless I'm like I have to inhabit a human form.
But then he kidnaps one human,
and I'm like, how many demons are you planning on? He's
just
like,
one.
I'm gonna bring them all back. And I said, okay, well, I hope they all fit in this one Beverly. yeah. And then I was gonna say more, but I'm like, well, we'll wait until we get to the climax of the movie because we're not there yet.
Howard and Shawshank show up, and Shawshank's like, by the way, this place also has a regular laser gun. So Howard, take this.
Like did he explain it? He didn't. I don't even think he did. He was like, "Oh yeah, well there was this one time that we needed a laser, and here's a laser. It's a magic laser.
It's a prototype.
That does anything that we need."
Yeah.
This is the most convenient laser.
They strap it to basically like one of those little carts that drive around places inside. Like, you know when you're at like an airport and have those carts going around?
Yeah, I don't know what you call it. I don't know.
It's not a golf cart.
Like a pallet jack.
A Zamboni. No.
It's like one of those things, like a little cart thing.
And they strap this giant laser to it.
It almost looks like a rover, like a NASA rover type of thing.
Howard
he just puts the laser on top.
They mount it, and there's two of them. You'd think one of them would be the driver, the other would be the gunner. That's not how this works out. It's just how they get in the room with the guy and like, we got to be sneaky. Then Howard hits a button, the rover just drives all over the place away from them.
He's the worst driver, and yet any chance there is in this movie where there is a thing to drive, they're like, Howard, quick. And he says, I can't drive. Or he starts driving. He's like, I'll drive. And then they're like, oh, man, why do you suck? And he's like, I'm a duck, right? And I guess they don't have duck cars. That's the one regular thing that they don't have on his egg planet that they haven't turned into a duck version of. I guess they don't have cars or plane things or Zamboni cart things.
They'll never get the movie Cars.
Yeah,
but ducks.
Cars, but ducks. But yeah, he's like a terrible driver, and it's the scene goes on forever of him just like, oh, wrong way, oh no, oh man, oh let me back up, oh I crashed into another thing, oh man, oh no.
It gets to a point where Howard has it kind of under control. Laser's pointing right at the demon. The demon's just standing there, and there's no way for him to turn the laser. So he has to hope the demon just stands in one place and doesn't move any way, which luckily He doesn't.
He doesn't at all. He gets all this demon stands there dramatically.
And they do my least favorite thing ever in movies. It's when two lasers shoot at each other and they meet in the middle, and it's just
like, oh man, it's gonna. Ooh.
I don't. What is that? They would just pass through and hit each other.
Well, I don't know, man. This is a pretty special magic laser that Howard has strapped to the top of his
and we don't know how it mixes with demon lightning magic.
Yeah, that was a little. It was interesting. The random powers that this demon alien guy had. He had like telekinesis for a second there, and then he was like.
He could explode things with his mind.
He could explode things with his mind.
Why didn't he just explode Howard with his mind?
I don't know. And he needed some sort of power key for something or whatever. Oh, in order to activate the laser, he needed like
the giant space laser.
Yeah, the giant space laser, of course. Not the other giant laser in this movie. He needed like this like power cartridge thing or whatever, or key they called it. And throughout the whole diner scene, and I mean it's a regular sized diner, it's not a giant diner or whatever, it's a little diner, and he's there asking, he's like, give me the power key, give me the key, give me the key, like throughout the entire 30-minute long or however long that diner scene went. Oh my god. And I'm like, you've already showed us that you could blow up this whole everyone in here except for the power key and then use your telekinesis to grab it. Like, no one needs to physically grab the key and hand it to you. But yeah, and so during that last, can you call it a fight scene?
Two lasers.
The laser scene at the end.
Laser duel. Rooney explodes, and out of his ashes, he's not dead, but the laser hits him.
Sadly. The movie isn't over yet.
Then a big stop motion creature, which looked fine.
Yeah, it looked like
fine,
like a scorpion meets like
the Rancor,
the Rancor from underneath Jabba's palace. A little more like Harryhausen. Yeah, Harryhausen.
Honestly, the scene kind of reminded me of the scorpion fight in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, it reminded me of that. It was.
Mm-hmm. And so they beat the demon, and now this demon's bigger, so they have to hit it with the laser again.
Gotta hit it with the laser.
Meanwhile, more demons are about to pour in. So
yeah,
Howard,
they're like already like coming. Like the stakes are so high, man. Like,
Howard makes the bold sacrifice.
Oh yeah.
To shoot the laser with the laser. To blow up the laser.
But Howard, if you blow up that laser, you won't be able to get home. And then he takes a whole 20 seconds to act. And he's like, all right, a duck's gotta do what a duck's gotta do. He actually never said that. I was waiting for him to say something like that. He said other stuff, but he didn't say that. He said, I guess, goodbye, Duck World. Because that's, I guess, what it's called. And then he shot the laser at the bigger laser. Which exploded.
And in a rock, paper, scissors situation, laser beats laser.
Yup.
So.
Didn't see that coming.
No.
I said, how are they going to get out of this?
Exactly. I don't know. Did he shoot the demon with the laser too? I don't remember. I think I was falling asleep.
Yeah, you fell asleep. He said, I think it was right then. He said, goodbye, Duck World. And Garrison says, Duck World. And I said, what? And I look and he's falling asleep. Because why is it taking so long? This doesn't matter at all.
I made it basically to the end.
You didn't miss anything. But he shoots the scorpion demon guy. And then he shoots the laser, and it's the biggest explosion I've ever seen, ever. Inside, contained, and all three of them, all four of them make it out. The scientist from Shawshank, the scientist from Ferris Bueller, Marty McFly's mom, and Howard the Duck. And then they do that stupid thing where, oh my goodness, it was this giant explosion. We're fine, but oh no, some what? I almost said shrapnel, but I guess like just pieces of random plates of metal because we're in a lab fell on Howard and his stupid little duck feet are sticking out. And they're like, Howard, Howard, oh no. And it's like, Howard, are you okay? They're moving the stuff. And then he's like, he's not dead. Like, he wasn't going to die. Like,
he's like, the movie's Howard the Duck. I'm fine.
Like, he's okay. Like, this, he was never going to.
And
really?
then,
are you kidding me? Like, you guys survived. Like, it's fine.
Then Howard joins their rock concert group. And they all sing together at the end on a big stage. I guess they're famous now.
Like, that's all it took. All it took was knowing a duck. And then, like, having a failed mission to get him back to his egg planet. And now we're famous. Maybe that's it. It's such a thing. Maybe it made such a, an impact on the city.
Having a real duck.
Yeah. In Cleveland,
man.
They were like, oh my goodness. You want money? You want fame? Fortune? You want that? And so now they're the biggest. This was the biggest concert ever.
I like how the whole movie was leading up to that. Like, his whole arc is like, I have to go to Earth. I have to stop a demon so I can finally be a rock star.
Yep.
This movie is
There's a message to this.
This movie is just a Barbie movie.
It is. It really is. My home was Earth all along. Oh, man.
No offense to Barbie movies, which I've seen and are much better than this by a long shot.
Oh, so much better than this.
Even the worst one. Think of the worst Barbie movie. That's way better than this.
Yes. Can confirm.
Fairytopia 3, masterpiece compared. I haven't seen Fairytopia 3. It might be a masterpiece on its own. I don't know.
It's quite possible.
Hey, Nate, that was the whole movie. Do you want to hear some trivia?
I would love to hear some trivia about this.
So good news. This movie was such a failure. Such financially a failure that George Lucas had to sell parts of his company to stay afloat.
No way.
What he sold was his computer division to Steve Jobs, which led to him creating Pixar.
Oh.
Howard the Duck is solely responsible for the creation of Pixar.
There it is.
So if you like Toy Story, you like Bug's Life, do you like Luca?
Yeah.
Thank this
current
movie.
Stuff. Yeah. I guess that's why in every credits of every Pixar movie,
they said thank you, Howard
randomly
the
say,
Duck.
thank you, Howard. And I was like, I wonder who that is. All right.
Also, I looked it up. The actress who played Beverly, Leah Thompson.
Oh, right. I knew that.
Her husband's name is Howard in real life.
Oh, does she call him Howie? Like in the movie?
I'm just wondering if they ever watch this movie and just get really uncomfortable.
Oh, God. Can you imagine showing this to someone? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how desperate.
Just imagine
how desperate she was at that point in her career that she was like, I'll do this. And at no point in the movie was she like, I am confident enough. I have enough, pull, integrity, to be like, nah, I draw the line at, kissing a duck.
Well, of course, this movie is not the end of Howard's on-screen career.
No, Howard would go on to do many great things.
Many great things. He was in both Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Yes.
He was in Endgame.
Yes.
He was part of the fight against Thanos.
Couldn't have done it without him.
Yeah. And in terms of the Disney parks, I believe at Mission Breakout in California Adventure, there's a part of the pre-show where the collector's on screen. In the background, in the tube, like his tubes of various things he's collected, Howard the Duck, like in the movies, is part of his collection. So you can find him at the Disney parks.
Nice.
You cannot find him here. I think there's I can't think of any specific Howard the Duck references at Universal Studios here in Florida. There might be something
like behind,
I can't specifically think
artwork.
of any though.
No.
And if there isn't any, which there might be, I could have missed it because there's a lot in that land. But
if you know, send us an email at
please do
into the vault
at podcast. But and by email I mean message the Instagram.
Yeah, PM the Instagram.
But if there isn't, that means Howard the Duck could get a ride in Florida.
So what you're saying is
there's a
chance.
There's a chance. Because as with the Marvel contract, anything referenced at Universal Studios and their Marvel Superhero Island, we cannot use at the Walt Disney World parks. So, we could get a Howard the Duck ride. Unless I missed something, which is very possible.
It'll replace the Donald Duck ride in the Mexico Pavilion.
God. Actually, we're going to build a ride in a second.
Yeah. Let's get to it. Did anyone die making this movie? Because they were
physically or internally.
Oh, I'm sure everyone at some level died. But like this was, I was saying, I was really surprised at just how big a scale this movie grew to be. It started really small, but then it turned into like a pretty
insane
big budget movie with large sets and
explosions
and
monsters
things like that, large set pieces, and the special effects. I was really going into it. I was expecting like all of the money that was put into this movie going into just the animatronic Howard the Duck head.
Yeah,
but that was probably not even the most expensive thing.
The final thing I want to say, this isn't really trivia, but Howard does shout "Tora, Tora, Tora" as he's flying over like duck hunters in his little like airplane thing.
On a flying contraption.
Which implies the existence like
Duck War 3.
Of World War II in Duck World. Which
there were duck Nazis.
Yep.
Duck Allied forces.
That's right. Duck Patton.
That I would like to see. Why,
Winston Church Duck.
Why didn't Howard the Duck show up in Captain America: The First Avenger? That was a missed opportunity.
Right.
Like, he's seen some stuff. He's a vet. That was the thing.
He's either a vet or he needs to see a vet.
After the whole incident of him getting sucked out of his apartment through other naked ducks' apartments and out into space and then to Earth,
there's voiceover.
There's voiceover, and it
never comes back.
It felt like Captain EO was like, "Oh yes, there's one world where this guy comes from, or whatever, and one person can save the universe, and that is Howard the Duck." And then he goes away. We never hear that again. Not even at the end, like, and that is the tale of Howard the Duck. But then, he lands, he makes friends with Beverly or whatever. She takes him back to the apartment. And then, like, what is it? A train goes by or something. And, like, the floor starts shaking, just like how it did right before he got sucked out of his apartment. And then he has, like, a PTSD, like, flashback. And he's like, "Ah!" His eyes get all wide. It's
very funny, but not in the way they ever intended for it to be.
No.
All right, Nate. If this movie was successful and they were like, we got to build a specific Howard the Duck ride, what would it be? Where would we put it? Would it even be a ride? Would it be a restaurant? Would we do a whole land? Whole Howard the Duck theme park? What are we feeling?
Well, you know me.
Yeah. That's why you're on the show.
I'm always... Who is this?
Who?
Oh, hi, it's me, Nate. I was just passing by. Is this where you record Into the Vault? I broke into the recording studio here at Into the Vault Records. I'm always looking for an excuse to get rid of Cosmic Ray.
Yeah. Okay.
Or no, I always call him Cosmic Ray because I thought that was him, but it's what's the name of that guy?
Cosmic Ray Starlight Cafe is the name of the restaurant. You're thinking of Cosmic Ray's monster.
Yes. That guy. I think very easily you could replace it with that guy, replace him with Howard the Duck. And you just need to put a duck skin over the animatronic. Like, it moves just that bad. And instead of whatever dumb songs and commentary that he says there at Cosmic Rays,
because Howard joins a rock band at the end.
He could play
the Howard the Duck theme that they played at the end. The end of the movie.
Which actually, I've forgotten how it goes. But it goes
Howard
exactly like how, Howard
it was the best.
Is it Howard the Duck? they didn't put a whole lot of thought into it. But
Yeah.
we were we were singing it.
We were having a good
for
time.
a few minutes afterwards because it goes on for a while.
It's Sunny Eclipse, by the way.
There we go. I'm like, it's a different space name that I don't care about.
The Howard the Duck song at the end was the best comic book movie music moment since Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze with the Ninja Rap by Vanilla Ice. Those two are just as good as each other. Just kidding. The Ninja Rap's very good. The Howard the Duck song was very bad.
Nothing could top that.
So it's just in Cosmic Rays we have Howard the Duck. I think this is great. What kind of foods would we sell at the new Howard the Duck Howard's Cosmic Rock Cafe?
Yeah. Well, that's a tough
No
one.
eggs.
That's a tough one because at first I'd be like, oh, well, obviously a bunch of egg stuff. But goodness gracious, someone
hates eggs.
offers him eggs at the diner and he flips out. He's like, no, man. You think I'm a cannibal, man? I would never eat eggs. Get that out of there. And so I guess not eggs.
Thank goodness humans don't have like eggs, because then
Yeah.
we couldn't eat eggs.
So I don't know. Regular food, like a vegan menu
A fully vegan menu. All
with
right.
chocolate cigars as
Oh,
the
how
dessert,
fun.
or a little milkshake thing with a cigar as the little
little
sword
garnish.
thing. Yeah, little thing like there, little topper, because he likes cigars. I don't know.
I think this is perfect because he shouldn't get a ride.
Yeah, I would not wait longer than nothing at all to get on the Howard the Duck ride. And, if you're, one of those people, you really like Disney, and you go to Epcot and you're just like, let's go and chill at Disney. Let's go on the Mexico ride, whatever it is, whatever style it is at the time. Just go and just chill on the Mexico ride. Okay. Like, if they, like, I was joking before, but like as I think about it, if they changed the Donald Duck ride, the Three Caballeros ride into Howard the Duck ride, I wouldn't want to chill there. I would say, you know what, you want to just like sit outside in the sun and sweat? Like, I would rather do that and be sad than the sadness and sorrow and emptiness that I would feel being on the Howard the Duck ride. In the Mexico Pavilion. Why would that be? It's not the
I don't know.
Duck
This is
Pavilion.
your scenario.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think about it all the way through when I first said it. But yeah, I do not want to meet him. At least this version
Not this
of it.
version.
It's possible they'll give him a Disney Plus show or something with Seth Green.
Yeah, would you
voicing
want
him.
the Seth Green incarnation to get his own like spotlight?
Well, just the thing is, we've only heard him say like one line.
Yeah.
At the end of that first Guardians movie, so I'm not familiar with the character at all outside of this movie. I don't care for the character, and so I don't know. Like, it's possible this was a very comic book accurate, adaptation. And if it is, I don't care about Howard the Duck. I don't like him at all. I hate him.
I think
even if he's voiced by Seth Green,
I think the way to do it would be, because I think he's more of like, if they made him more of like a detective kind of guy, but like it's so preposterous and big, like it's just a duck in this world of like humans, and he's like solving like high profile murder cases, but it's just a duck. Or just they need some sort of contrast where it's like the humor isn't like, the humor comes from the fact that it's so ridiculous that it is a duck.
Exactly. Sort of like Rocket Raccoon and Groot and stuff. Like,
but like
I was expecting something like that to happen.
But give it like the styling of the Daredevil show. Yes. But instead of like Matthew Murdock, it's just Howard the Duck, but he's still going through these like emotional, like traumatic, like he has this PTSD from his time. Play it straight, but it's still just a duck. That's how I would do it.
That, like, honestly, I thought I saw, just judging from like the clothes that I typically see Howard the Duck drawn in, he's wearing like, like a coat and tie. I'm like, oh, maybe he's like a cop. Is he a duck cop. Maybe I thought he was like, and the movie starts out, spoiler alert, it starts out with him like, showing up at the end of the day, at the end of the night, really, into his apartment, and he's feeding his fish, and he's grabbing himself a drink or whatever. He's taking his coat off, and there's this like sort of music playing, and I was like, oh my goodness, he's like Howard the Duck, Private Eye type of thing like that. He can have his own like show. Oh, that's great. But then it turns out, like, once he gets to Earth, and Beverly's like, who are you? He's like, well, I'm Howard. And she's like, and you're a duck. And he's like, well, obviously. And she's like, and what do you do? And he's like, well, I'm a duck. He has like a regular job. It's not an interesting, no compelling comic book. And well, I work at this laboratory. Oh, yeah. I'm a detective. Oh, I do this or whatever. He's like, oh, I'm an accountant. I do the books at the duck bank or whatever. And I'm like, and you're the comic book character?
Is this movie a hidden treasure, or should it be locked away? Don't rush with your answer. I know it's a tough one.
It should locked away forever. I tried not to rush into that. I took my time with it.
Yeah, really thought it through. It's not the most boring movie I've seen for the show. It is the worst
for the
movie.
show? Okay.
For this show, yeah. It's not the most boring. It is
I will
just
say, yeah.
It is objectively probably the worst movie I've ever seen. Ever? No. Maybe? Yeah. It's very bad and uncomfortable. And yeah, I hated most of it.
I've seen a lot of bad movies, but this is pretty bad. I don't know if I can say it's the worst movie I've ever seen.
Definitely for the show.
And it's also weird just because there were a few not good parts, but there were a few, like, there's the cheap duck jokes, and then there's a few like almost witty type of things like that. And also, like, this is one of those like a pre-Temple of Doom PG rated movie where it's very much PG-13, but it's not any R-rated stuff, so they didn't rate it X back in the day. So like there will randomly be like more adult jokes in there, and some of them were pretty funny, and I'm like, wow, that was actually a legit funny joke.
Yeah, there were a few,
but there were not enough to save the movie. And so like,
and the uncomfortable parts are just so uncomfortable.
Like stomach churning. Like, yeah. Oh my god. Weird, uncomfortable movie.
Maybe I should clarify.
It's a terrible movie.
Yeah, it's terrible. It definitely has, like, maybe as a whole, it's not the worst thing I've seen, but the parts that were bad were the worst things I've seen.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. Like,
there were a few non-terrible parts, but I wouldn't call them like
good,
redeemable. Yeah. Like, no.
Yeah. Watch this with a whole bunch of people. That's what I say.
Drunk.
Yeah.
If you're at a party, like a terrible party, like, because you need it to, be the upper.
Yeah.
Because this will bring the party down. If you're like, hey guys, let's have like a fun party, whatever. We can watch Howard the Duck. It'll be great. It will not be great. It will ruin the party. Everyone will leave unhappy. Because it starts off all right, but then at the halfway point, you think the movie is over and you're happy that it's almost over, but then there's a whole nother hour and that it randomly starts dragging. Terrible throughout.
Yeah, I can't believe I spent money on this. It's not on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
if you ever find it for free,
you only did stuff on Disney Plus.
No, I just do Disney movies.
Oh, so that's why. Oh, because it's sort of counted because it's Lucas. Okay.
It's not just Disney Plus. I started the show before Disney Plus came out.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. It was just very convenient that like a few months later Disney Plus came out. I'm like, wow, well, that makes my life a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely. Too bad.
I have this stack of posters. I just don't have a stack of old Disney movies. Spent all my money on these posters.
I'm looking at it, guys. You can't see it, but oh my goodness. The poster collection of random
It's
vaulted, Disney movies.
Yep,
that
every
Garrison
single one,
has.
obviously.
And it's autographed by the cast.
Yeah.
This must have cost
Of
you
Howard
at
the
least
Duck.
$50.
Every poster's autographed by the cast of Howard the Duck.
Right, it's weird. I said, why is
Strongest man in the world. Look at this.
Flight
Howard
of
the Duck cast.
Navigator?
Yeah.
Why is that signed by the? But how can I even be mad?
All right. Well, Nate, it's been fun.
It has
but
been fun.
I think I'm gonna take up duck hunting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said, you know what, man?
I'm not used to. I have never hunted. I have no interest to until this movie. It's a great. It really convinces you that maybe it's necessary sometimes.
You know what? It's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
I'm against hunting. But like, you guys would understand. Go out and I'd say go and watch it on Disney Plus or whatever. But like, go and spend some money on this terrible movie and give it a watch, and you'll see where we're coming from.
All right, let me grab my slingshot and all my marbles. Oh no. I lost them all behind the blockbuster.
Again.
Goodbye.